Okay, we're beginning. Good evening. Welcome to the Detroit Public Library's virtual event, Move the World, a curator's talk with Omo Misha and special performance by poet and artist Brittini Ward. I'm Tanika Chapman Mills, manager of Popular Library and the Music, Arts, and Literature Department at the Detroit Public Library. I'm also joined this evening by my colleague who's in the background, Miss Genevieve Aldani Caruso. She's going to help with our questions and make sure that everything is running smoothly. Omo means Misha's children in Yoruba. It's a name that has come to identify curator Misha McGlown and her multifaceted practice in the arts. Misha is the director at the Irwin House Global Arts Center and Gallery in Detroit, Michigan. She studied at the Center for Creative Studies and at Wayne State University. Misha is also a published author and contributor for Huffington Post, Art Slant, and Of Note magazine. Please welcome Omo Misha to Detroit Public Library's virtual gallery.
Thank you, Tanika and Detroit Public Library for having me in the Irwin House Gallery this evening. Thank you so much. So I just want to give a little background, just a little bit on the gallery, and we'll be talking about the exhibition, Move the World, which is ongoing now and runs through Saturday, May 1st. So you still have an opportunity to come out and see the exhibition. So I'm going to share a little bit with you. Just a moment. All right, here we go. So this is the Irwin House Gallery. We are located at 2351 West Grand Boulevard. I'm looking for my controls here. Here we go. The gallery was the really dream and brainchild of my aunt and uncle, Valerie and Council B. Irwin. My uncle passed in 2013, so my aunt and I worked together to really bring it to fruition. It's been a work in progress. It's still a work in progress, but we officially opened in 2019. So we're excited to be able to make this contribution to the community and invite the arts community and the city to come out and enjoy our space and really utilize our space as well if you want to present arts programming. Our current exhibition is Move the World, which opened in Black History Month. It ran through Women's History Month, and it celebrates the lives, multifaceted lives of Black women. It includes the work of Detroit artists, Ricky Weaver, Jide Aje, Jonathan Harris, and invited artists from all over the country, including Dawn Okoro from Texas, Laura Gadson from New York, Damien Mathis from North Carolina, Donn Thompson from New York, Bai also from New York, and also including our own wonderful Detroit born and raised Brittini Ward, who is a visual artist participating in the exhibit and also a poet who we will be fortunate enough to hear from later in the program. So this just is a little view of the gallery and parts of the exhibition, which we'll be talking about shortly. And the exhibition statement, which really just speaks to the inspiration for the exhibition, which was just the political contributions of African-American women and some of the professional first and professional strides that we're seeing in different sectors led by African-American women. And at the same time, really just paying respect and drawing attention to, you know, some of the difficult aspects of not just Black life, but Black women's lives, you know, from slavery to trafficking to domestic violence, and really just pointing out both ends of the spectrum, from the greatness of being a Black woman to also the things that, you know, we are faced with daily that we have to address that don't really get as much attention as they should. But at the end of that, we are real resilient, we are beautiful, and we are the backbone of humanity, really. So the exhibition, I hope, encompasses all of that. This was really our featured image from the exhibition by Donn Thompson. Donn is a New York-based photographer who has been documenting the beauty and strength of African and African-American women in print, for magazines, for advertising, and just for his own personal art purposes in New York for over 20 years. So this is our featured image from Donn in the exhibition. He calls it Black Nikki. Nikki is a yogi based in Harlem. And this has just been a beautiful and striking image that we've been proud to display. Really just, to me, exemplifying not, you know, all of our flexibility and just confidence and beauty, just pure raw beauty. And there will be time for questions afterwards. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions about the show or any of the art. This just shows how we displayed it in the exhibit. We decided to do something different with this and make it into a wall, a large format wall decal. So that's how it's displayed in the exhibit, but prints of the work are available for sale. Limited edition prints. This is Dawn Okoro from Texas. Dawn is inspired as an artist by punk culture, fashion, photography. She has a background in fashion and also in journalism, and just the everyday experiences of her life and those around her. This is a 36 by 72 inch diptych that I feel addresses the many roles and responsibilities and just the energy that we exert, just maintaining, you know, not only our lives, but the lives of people around us, and taking care of ourselves, our families, our communities, you know, protecting ourselves. Like, there's just a lot of information and a lot of movement in this piece. I know this is how I feel every day. I think this is how a lot of us feel every day. This piece is by Jonathan Harris, and it's called Cracking Up. And Jonathan Harris is a Detroit-based artist. This piece is, he's using his really kind of signature drip enamel style that I think is really a style that's unique to this artist. The piece really brings out the joy and innocence and simplicity of Black girlhood, and just really, I think, reminds us all to remember that and to hold on to that. At the same time, there's so many serious issues that I think are addressed through some of the work in the show. This piece I felt really countered the notion of the angry Black woman, and really just brings out this joy that we all hopefully have deep down inside. And everyone who sees this piece, it's 48 by 60, it's really striking. It brings a smile to their face. So anything I think that can bring us joy, even for a few minutes, is important to have around. This is Damien Mathis. Damien Mathis is from North Carolina. He is also, like Jonathan Harris, the artist we just saw, is a Detroit Fine Arts Breakfast Club member, and just a really imaginative and dedicated artist, dedicated professionally and just artistically. He works with wood, so he's really involving carpentry along with fine art painting to bring his visions to life. This particular piece is a 3 by 9 foot, really sculptural portrait of Alma Thomas. And Alma Thomas was considered the mother of color field painting in the 1960s, probably late 1950s and 60s, during a time when not many women, and particularly Black women, were being recognized for their arts, and certainly not in this style of painting. So Damien really wanted to pay homage to Alma, and through his work, he also pays homage to other artists who he feels really paved the way for him and for all of us to do what we do. But he really wanted to highlight not just Alma and her accomplishments, but her personality and who she was as an individual, and also incorporate some of her style of work in the painting, in the portrait, really, sculptural portrait. So again, just very imaginative work by Damien Mathis. Here are a few other pieces he has in the show. And Damien really looks at women as a source of inspiration and almost like mythical and heroic figures in his life. So a lot of his work really focuses on the female figure. And these are all made of wood, acrylic and mixed media, carved out of wood. This is Ricky Weaver. Ricky Weaver is out of Ypsilanti. She is an image-based artist working in photography. She also teaches as a professor at U of M. And Ricky Weaver's work really just focuses on these ordinary, extraordinary, private moments that we have as Black women in the process of sharing and caring for ourselves and caring for others. There are these moments that are not seen and that are not a part of public discourse. And Ricky, through her work, really captures those moments. This particular piece is called I Watched, Their Eyes Were Watching God So Many Times I Burned a Hole in the DVD. And it's really focused on private conversations that she had with this woman who was her friend, Nigeria Frazier. and who she refers to as a homegirl from around the way. And really just these private conversations that, we've all had with each other, especially during these difficult times and this past year that's really been hard for everybody. And in the way that we have really cared for each other and kept each other strong and strengthened and alive during these difficult times. So that is Ricky Weaver. Laura Gadson, Sweet Bitter Tangerine Mambo. This is a fiber and mixed media art quilt installation. The entire installation is in the middle. You can see some of the details on the side. This piece was done as part of a 40th anniversary exhibition for Ntozake Shange's for color girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow was enough. I hope wasn't enough. I hope I said that right. But the 40th anniversary exhibition was curated by Peter Solio Wright, who is a friend and colleague in New York. And it was a touring exhibition which ran a few years ago in New York. So this piece represented one of the women in Ntozake Shange's play. And for those of you who may remember the original play, which was made into a movie a few years ago, all the women wore a different color. And this woman wore orange, the lady in orange. She was a dancer, and this is all the music that inspired her and that brought her joy. Of course, like all the women in the play, she had a sort of a sad, heartbreaking story. But this piece represents the woman. It includes some of the music that inspired her. It has actual records sewn into the quilt, and her poem from the play is embroidered throughout the installation on all the pieces of the installation. And the poem actually ends with a line about the man walking out with her heart in the bottom of his shoe. And there's so much detail in this piece. I don't know if you can really see it in the shoe on the left, where Laura has, put all kinds of imagery and collaging inside the shoe, actually on the bottom of the shoe as well, including the woman's heart. So it's a really beautiful, vibrant, and touching piece. And Laura is based in New York. She actually has a gallery as well, Gadson Gallery. And on each slide, I have the artist Instagram handle. So I encourage you to follow them, all of them. Okay. Oops, I forgot what I was doing just that fast. I was talking so much, I forgot what I was doing. So this is Jide Aje. Jide is a Nigerian artist living in New York. In Detroit, here in Detroit. He's a Detroit Fine Arts Breakfast Club artist also. And this piece draws from his Yoruba heritage and culture. And they're called panels for Orisha Funfun. And in Yoruba culture, the Orisha are deities, and Funfun refer to the female deities, which are believed to preside over wealth, love, fertility, calmness, coolness, the sun, the moon, and magic. So Jide has brought a variety of elements, including African traditional motifs and different textures and pigments to sort of bring out the Orisha Funfun. So, Jide brings some of the Yoruba culture to the exhibition. And I did feel like with this show, since the show is about African American women, that it was important to have some African culture included in the exhibition as well. So, if that makes sense. This is Bai. Bai is an artist from New York. These are 5x7 framed compositions that really just focus on the African American woman as a beautiful and multifaceted being. And these pieces were created specifically for the exhibition, and we have a number of them. We've actually sold quite a few of these. But while he was creating these pieces, Cicely Tyson passed. He did these right before the exhibition opened, and he was a huge admirer of Cicely Tyson, like many of us. So he felt that he wanted to kind of capture some of her spirit in some of these pieces as well. And this is how they look framed in the exhibition. So lastly, almost lastly, we were really just delighted to be able to get this rare piece by Geoffrey Holder. Many of you may know Geoffrey Holder as the 7-Up Man, but he also was a dancer, choreographer, producer on productions such as The Wiz and Timbuktu, and really just had this long and storied career in the performing arts. And needless to say, was a very big, I mean, he was big physically, a big man, but also just a very big, vibrant and flamboyant personality. But what many people don't know is that he also was a fine art painter throughout his entire career, and a prolific painter as well. So while he was doing all these things, starring in films, choreographing for films, producing movies, dancing in movies, and of course, married to the beautiful and wonderful Carmen de Lavallade, who was an actress and dancer as well, and still a noted personality in the performing arts. He was painting. And this is one of his pieces. It's from 1960. It's called Just Seated Nude. It's really an untitled piece. One of our board members, we were able to acquire this piece last year from the Swan auctions in New York. So I thought it would be a beautiful time to unwrap it and reveal it to the world. So it's not for sale, but we were just really happy to share this piece of history as part of the exhibition. So Yasmin Lancaster has an Instagram page called You Want to Tell Her, and we have a collaborative installation in the exhibition where all the guests have been able to share messages for Black women. It could be a message to a mother, a sister, a friend, a girlfriend, a wife, a message to some women have left messages to the younger selves. So we've done this in collaboration with Yasmin and her Instagram page. So I believe Yasmin is on the call, and I thought it would be best to let her tell you about herself and her page. So I'm going to play this short video for us. I hope you can hear this.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Lancaster. I'm based in New York City. I'm a writer, a filmmaker, and a lover of sour gummy bears. Yummy, and a beautiful Black woman. The origins of You Want to Tell Her Instagram page began as a promotional page for a visual project of men reading a collection of poems that I wrote that explore the subject of love and all its incarnations. Because I am a writer and IG is a visual medium, it wasn't enough for me to simply post the photographs. I also intended to explore the idea and feelings that the photographs evoked through text. Sometimes the point of view is that of a man expressing his feelings, other times it's that of a woman. However, all begin with the tagline, You Want to Tell Her. The page has evolved over the years, initially being a page that highlighted all women. Very quickly, within weeks, the post began to highlight Black women across time and space, from West Africa to the Bronx. My aim with this page is to show the complexity, the beauty, the sensuality, the sexuality, the victories won, and the crushing injustices experienced. It's my hope that my page can add a layer to the visual representation of Black women to highlight our complexity and move beyond stereotypical depictions. I'm in love with Black women because I am a Black woman. And if you feel the same way I do, go ahead and tell her. She needs to hear that declaration. Thank you so much for taking the time to look at my work on IG. I'm so grateful to be a part of this amazing exhibit. And thank you and have an amazing day.
So yeah, that was Yasmin Lancaster. You Want to Tell Her, and our wonderful collaboration with at You Want to Tell Her. And we actually have even now a lot more messages on the board than we had when we made the video. So thank you, Yasmin, for participating, and it's been a wonderful collaboration. Oh, it's gonna do it again. So Saturday is the last day of the show, and we are having a closing event. This is a free event with music and live art being created outside. It's an indoor-outdoor event. Most of the activities will be taking place outside. Brittini will also be performing some compositions, and we will have live art by Cameron Jenkins, Damien Deontay, Aaron Whitaker, Hosanna Klein, Kayla Childress, Kira Price, Jenny Wheeler, Malik Phillips, Nani Williams, Oscar Lopez, Scott McDuffie, Warren Wells, and Zuri times Zuri. So the art that they'll be creating will actually become a part of our next outdoor installation, which will be installed on the grounds later in the month of May. And it's a permanent, semi-permanent installation. So you'll be hearing more about that, hopefully, and we'll come out to see it. But before we get to Saturday, I wanted to show you quickly some work by Brittini Ward, Detroit artist, visual artist, and poet, and vegan chef and healer, who is a part of the exhibition. This is some of Brittini's paintings, a couple of Brittini's paintings. I'm going to play one of Brittini's videos. Brittini is the Poet Laureate of the exhibition, and most of Brittini's work, almost all of it, I felt really involved the theme of the exhibition, and really speaks for Black women. It speaks for the culture, and it speaks for a generation. And I felt that Brittini's voice was really, obviously poetic, beautiful, and relevant. And I was so honored that she agreed to be our Poet Laureate and to represent the exhibition with her voice. So I'm going to play one of Brittini's videos that's in the show, and then we will turn it over to Brittini. She can tell you a little bit more about her art and what she does and perform for us. So first we're going to listen to this video called Girl. What happened? Okay, I think I stopped sharing, so I'm gonna try it again. Oh, wait. All right, I'm just gonna try to play it from here.
Girl, don't act like you don't love thrill and stability. Short rides with complexities, questioning your perception of time and how vulnerable you can be. Don't act like you don't menage a trois with known and unknowings, beginnings and endings, listening to pleasure over logic, wanting them to keep going, but saying stop is stop acting outside of you. The you who wants to play barefoot on wet grass, the you who always tries to match your age, limit your time on stage, soften your rage. Girl, you'll be stuck in this cycle. And trying to break it is the problem all along. You know you wanted the tender good kisser all along. You weren't the good listener, silencing your joy for theirs. How dare you? Trading in your stillness for noise, your passion for poise. Girl, you gotta make a choice. To accept this revolution, acknowledge your evolution, snatch back the pen that only allows strokes inside the lines, reclaim your divine, unswallow your truth and lie in it. Girl, don't act like you're not ready for this healing, and this healing raw and uncutting, letting go and unforgiving. Girl, don't act like you're not ready, because you are. Girl, your feelings are valid. Girl, whatever you want, you can have, as long as you go through. Whatever you want, you can have, as long as you go through this healing.
So that concludes my presentation. I want to turn it over to Brittini, who our Emmy Award winning, I failed to mention that, Emmy Award winning poet and Poet Laureate of Move the World, Brittini Ward.
Hi, yes. Every time I look at that video, I'm just like, whew. Yeah, I wrote that video at a time where I was going through my own healing. So it just reminds me of how far I've come. And also to see all of my friends in there, it's just like, it's just amazing. So yes, Ashe to the ancestors, and thank you, Detroit Public Library, for this platform, and Misha at the Irwin House Art Gallery for showcasing my artwork and poetry. A lot of my artwork and poetry speaks to my own experiences, images, and ideas that I see daily or in my dreams with a touch of surrealism and emphasis on emotion. I paint to help my audiences visualize concepts of culture or theories that I've learned, thought of, or believed to be true. And so in celebration of Black women across the world, I wanted to share a poem that highlights just how magical Black women are. This poem that I'm about to perform speaks to or relates to our skin, our hair, our movement, our undeniable power and resilience in a world that loves Black girl magic, but just until they see an actual Black girl doing magic. This poem is called Black Girls. Black girls are so beautiful. With our cocoa kissed skin and our pearly smiles, Black girls are so beautiful. We effortlessly shine in darkness and light. Our eyes tell enough lullabies to wake you up at night. Black girls are so beautiful. Even when we sit and think about what's for dinner, Black girls are forever winners in competition with our past selves. Natural plum lips, hips, and thighs, our bodies carry rolls that stretch and leave marks of life. Black girls move to vibrations only we can feel in our bones. Kicking up fairy dust that we brought from our homes, moving body parts that embrace our sexuality the way we want to. Black girls keep their kinks concealed and untouchable, revealed and lovable, with our box braids and starter locks intertwined with wisdom and Black owned. Black girls have enough power to remove you from your so-called throne. Twirling wands with our fingers as we cast spells for your characters. Every day we try not to burst, but we do it anyway. And release necessary messes of truth, sacrifice, and healing all over your bullshit. Black girls are worthy of all the praise and abundance. We are unwrapped gifts, creating our own holidays every time we gather. Black girls are women, both childish and mature. Free to laugh and cry, play and play and play some more. Black girls dance and be still. Take time out and tap, tap, tap in. Black girls are magic and do it too. Who do you think you are to be so beautiful, Black girl? Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Brittini. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What a wonderful presentation by both of you ladies. That was really amazing. At this time, we have a few questions. And Brittini, I'll start with you. How long have you been writing poetry?
Oh, wow. I guess it's like, how long have I been writing and how long have I been taking it seriously? Because I've been writing for a very long time. It started in high school, English class. I was like, oh, I really like this class, And then I started taking it more seriously when I was in the Poets and Writers Society at my college during my undergrad. Dr. Tracy Curry, one of my mentors that really encouraged me to kind of take the stage. So yeah, I guess it started since I was a child, but I took it seriously when I joined different clubs at my undergrad, University of Michigan, Flint.
Okay, and your major was, I'm sorry, your major was
My
what?
major for my undergrad is professional communications and graphic design.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
And Misha, how long has the gallery been open?
Well, we opened in 2018. We did a tribute exhibition for Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin had just passed, and where we're located kind of sits really between her home, her father's house, where she spent much of her childhood, and where she was when she launched her career was launched, and also the church. So this was her hood.
Right.
So we really felt compelled to create a space where the creative community could come together and express how we felt about her and how we were impacted by her life and her contributions. So that was our first exhibition, but we were under construction, so the space was really raw. And people came. We had poetry, we had art, and we celebrated Aretha. It was a beautiful time, and then we closed to finish construction. So we really didn't officially open until 2019, and we had one exhibit that ran from September to January of 2021, and then we had COVID. So yeah, so this was really our first. Well, I wouldn't say it's our first exhibition, but we're just kind of getting things back up and going since COVID.
How did the submission process work for the show?
Most of the artists were, the artists were selected for the exhibition. I looked for artists who had work and who I felt had work and a sensibility that lent itself to our theme. Hence, finding Brittini's poetry, and I really felt like it connected to the theme of the show. So the artists were handpicked for the exhibition, really.
And that's how many artists?
1, 2.
I'm sorry. A lot.
10? I should know that. Yeah.
Well, in your presentation, you mentioned more than once the Detroit Breakfast, the Artists Breakfast Club. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Detroit Fine Arts Breakfast Club is a group of artists and art enthusiasts, a very robust, energetic group that meets once a week. They used to meet once a week at Noni Sherwood Grill. Since the pandemic, they've been online, but ultimately they will go back to meeting in person. And it's a place, it's just really a kind of informal coalition of creatives in Detroit who are working to support each other. And it includes artists at all levels. It includes collectors who are supporting and purchasing the work from the artists, and all kinds of arts administrators and educators, and just really all of us working to support and uplift each other. It's a fun and vibrant group. They have a Facebook page also. We have about 20-something thousand members. So it's really not, it's not like anything that I know of that exists anywhere else in the world, really. But yeah, some of the artists are affiliated or come from the Breakfast Club.
Question for Brittini. Which do you prefer, or which one come first, your writing or your art?
Inquiring minds want to know.
My writing or my art? I guess I would say my writing. And that's just because of what it requires. I can easily just jot down a thought. But when it comes to my art and kind of saving those thoughts, because I mean, also my art starts with writing. Like if I have an idea for a painting, I'm like, okay, outline, I just, baby, tree, I write out the words first. And sometimes my paintings come from my poems. So I guess I would have to say my writing, because I can really expand with writing. There's not a lot of mediums involved, not a lot of paint to buy on canvas, layers. I kind of just create those layers with my words.
So how long does your process usually take?
For writing?
Sound like the writing inspires the pictures. So how long does it take to go from one and then create the other?
For my paintings?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's like these hills, when you're a creator, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I got all these ideas. And then you're just like at this valley level, like, I'm not an artist. And then you're like, oh yeah, I am an artist. I can't answer that, because it's like, sometimes they're like downloads too, like just spiritual downloads, messages that need to be heard, I feel, because I can be up at night at like 3 a.m. and then I'm just like on my phone writing out this poem. Like Girl, I got that poem on my birthday when I was, maybe it was like 2 years ago, the poem that you just heard in the video, that just came, like all of it. And I was like, okay. And like, think about it, the way it's worded. It's like, am I talking to myself? Is this a message to myself? But then, the response that I got from it showed that it was relevant to a lot of different people as well. It's a healing message, So it's like, I don't call myself a griot, but I think it's in that realm. Like we just have a message and a story and a history to tell. And then, I think of it real spiritually, more so than the process. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
Great. And what are you working on now?
Oh goodness. Oh, I know. I'm working on a book right now. Yeah. I'm working on a book of poetry. It's like none other, because it's really, oftentimes I hide behind my words that I say in my poems with cool metaphors and imagery. But I still do that with my poems, but I also have a section on the other side of the book that kind of explains what this is about and why I wrote about it, and when it happened, and literally goes into it. So it's like a diary, and then it's a poem that, is relating to that experience. So it's really raw, it's really, transparent, but I'm in a space where I'm comfortable with that. So that's good. But yeah, I'm working on a book right now. It's pretty.
And Misha, what do you?
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, me. Well, the gallery, we're just gearing up for a lot of outdoor programming this summer. And the live art that the artists will be doing Saturday, getting that installed as a public semi-permanent outdoor installation. So there are a lot of moving parts with that. So we're busy trying to get that together. And then of course, just wrap up this beautiful show that we have here now. I'm really gonna be sorry to see it go. So yeah, that's it. We already really have programming on the schedule really through the end of the year. And then, there's still always little bits of construction happening here. One of the things we have not had here yet, which has been needed, you don't realize how much is needed, but it's a kitchen. So, in fact, earlier when we were talking, some people came to deliver the stove. So yeah, we'll be working on finishing up the construction.
And
that's it.
The final question is, how long does it take to come up with a concept for an exhibit?
It's, you kind of always have, as a curator, sometimes an idea for an exhibit is like this one, it comes from things that are happening around you, comes from the news. This exhibit in particular, I was just amazed by, how we saw Black women deliver democracy in Georgia, for all of us, for the United States. And it just really just drove home how we get things done and how we get things done together when we work together and combine our forces and our energy. And that really just sparked the idea for this show. And then of course it just branched off into just thinking about all these other aspects of our lives and our histories as Black women, and really just wanted to celebrate that and create a space to talk about it, and create a space to just remind the world that each and every one of us was born of a Black woman. So it wasn't something I was thinking about, like, oh, what is the next exhibition gonna be? I really hadn't given it any thought, and then things happened, and that was the idea for the exhibition. So a lot of times it's like that, every now and then you have a thought and something that's been in the back of your mind for a while that you want to do, but most of the time the idea for an exhibition grows organically from what's happening around you.
Well, judging from what we saw, that was amazing. And again, I say thank you for a great presentation. Thank you to Brittini Ward. I'd also like to thank my colleague for all her assistance, and thank the participants for joining us this evening. And on that note, you all have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll need to do this again, ladies.
Yes, please.
All righty, take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.